An empire that would dominate world affairs for centuries started as nothing. In the 13th century, Anatolia was a land of chaos. The great empires of the Byzantines and the Seljuks were collapsing, leaving behind a power vacuum. Into this turbulent frontier, a small Turkish tribe wandered, searching for a place to call home. They were nomads, herders, and warriors, led by a man named Ertugrul. They had no crown, no capital city, just a fierce will to survive. They lived on the edge of empires, caught between worlds. This wasn't the beginning of a kingdom. It was a daily fight for existence in the foggy valleys and vast plains of what would one day become Turkey. From these humble, forgotten beginnings, a story of unbelievable power was about to unfold. At the very edge of two worlds, the Christian Byzantine Empire and the Muslim Seljuk Sultanate, stood Ertugrul. He wasn't a king or an emperor. He was a tribal leader, a frontier bey, whose primary duty was to protect his people. He led his warriors against rival Turkish tribes, Mongol invaders, and Byzantine crusaders. He wasn't conquering for glory. He was carving out a safe haven, a small piece of land where his people could finally put down roots. His life was one of constant conflict, a struggle fought on horseback in the shadow of ancient ruins. Around the flickering light of a campfire at night, a new identity was being forged. Ertugrul's legacy wasn't an empire, not yet. It was a spirit of resilience, a frontier mentality that would be passed down to his son, setting the stage for one of history's greatest dynasties. Ertugrul's son, Osman, inherited this frontier state, but he possessed something more, a dream. Legend says Osman had a vision of a great tree growing from his body, its branches stretching to cover the entire world. This wasn't just a dream of land. It was a vision of an empire, a destiny. He saw a future that stretched far beyond the horizons of Anatolia. Inspired by this vision, he and his followers began to expand. They weren't just a tribe anymore. They were the people of Osman, the Ottomans. The name itself became a banner, a symbol of their new purpose. A dynasty had been born, and the name Ottoman would soon be whispered with a mix of fear and awe across continents. The foundation was laid, not just with stone and steel, but with a powerful, unifying dream. The early Ottomans expanded with a unique purpose, guided by the principle of Gaza. This wasn't just warfare, it was holy frontier warfare, a duty to expand the borders of the faith. City by city, fortress by fortress, they advanced out of their Anatolian heartland and into Byzantine territory in Europe. Their enemies, from Byzantine governors to Serbian princes, consistently underestimated them. They saw the Ottomans as just another group of raiders, a temporary problem. That mistake was fatal. The Ottomans were disciplined, motivated, and brilliantly led. They turned their enemies' fortresses into their own strongholds and used each victory as a stepping stone for the next. The smoke on the battlefield wasn't just the sign of a raid. It was the sign of a permanent, relentless advance. To fuel this expansion, the Ottomans created one of the most formidable military forces the world had ever seen, the Janissaries. These weren't ordinary soldiers. They were recruited as boys from Christian families in the Balkans, converted to Islam, and raised for one purpose: war. They were slaves of the Sultan, with no family ties or loyalties except to him. This made them incredibly disciplined and relentlessly loyal. Trained from childhood, they became an elite infantry corps, masters of both firearms and formation fighting. When the sound of their military bands and their rhythmic marching cadence was heard, it signaled doom for their opponents. The Janissaries became the steel backbone of the Ottoman army, the most feared and effective soldiers on earth. For over 1,000 years, one city stood as the ultimate prize, the symbol of unbreakable power, Constantinople. Its legendary triple walls, stretching for miles, had repelled countless sieges. It was the heart of the Byzantine Empire, the center of Orthodox Christianity, an ancient metropolis of immense wealth and prestige. Arabs, Bulgars, and even previous Ottoman sultans had tried to conquer it. All had failed. The city seemed invincible, protected by God and by the most sophisticated defenses of the medieval world. But as the 15th century dawned, the Ottoman Empire had surrounded what was left of Byzantium. Constantinople was an island in an Ottoman sea, and a new, ambitious young sultan was preparing to do what no one before him ever could: change history forever. That young sultan was Mehmed II, and he was only 21 years old. But his youth hid a brilliant military mind and an iron will. He was obsessed with conquering Constantinople. To break its legendary walls, he commissioned a new kind of weapon, massive bronze cannons, larger than anything the world had ever seen. In the spring of 1453, Mehmed's army, with its superguns, laid siege to the city. For 53 days, the cannons pounded the ancient walls. Finally, on May 29th, the walls were breached and the Janissaries poured into the city. Constantinople fell. Mehmed rode to the great cathedral, the Hagia Sophia, and declared it a mosque. That day, the Byzantine Empire died. The Middle Ages effectively ended, and Mehmed earned his title, the Conqueror. The city was reborn as Istanbul, the new capital of a true empire. With the fall of Constantinople, the Ottomans were no longer a regional power, they were a world empire. From their new capital, they projected power across 3 continents: Europe, Asia, and Africa. Their armies marched into the Balkans, Hungary, and up to the gates of Vienna. They conquered Egypt, Syria, and the holy cities of Mecca and Medina, making the Sultan the Caliph, the leader of the Sunni Muslim world. The Ottoman navy controlled the Mediterranean Sea. Trade routes that had once been disrupted now flowed through Istanbul. It became a vibrant, cosmopolitan city where cultures and religions mixed. Under a structured and organized imperial rule, mosques, churches, and synagogues coexisted. The chaotic frontier state had become a sophisticated, global superpower. The Ottoman Empire reached its absolute peak, its golden age, under the reign of Sultan Suleiman I. In the West, they called him the Magnificent, but in his empire, he was known as the Lawgiver. Suleiman oversaw a complete reform of the empire's legal system, creating laws that would last for centuries. But his reign was about more than just conquest and law. It was an explosion of culture. The brilliant architect Mimar Sinan filled Istanbul and the empire with magnificent mosques, bridges, and palaces, like the stunning Suleiman I Mosque. Art flourished, especially calligraphy, manuscript painting, and poetry. Under Suleiman, the Ottomans proved they were not just conquerors. They were builders of a rich and enduring civilization, leaving a legacy of beauty and order that still inspires awe today. But no empire lasts forever. Even at its height, the seeds of decay were being planted. Power corrupts, and the Ottoman court was no exception. Sultans became more isolated in their palaces, and court intrigue and factional fighting began to weaken the state from within. The Janissaries, once the Sultan's loyal servants, became a powerful political force. They resisted any military or technological reforms that threatened their privileged position, even murdering sultans who tried to modernize the army. Meanwhile, in Europe, the Renaissance, the scientific revolution, and the Industrial Revolution were creating a new kind of power. The military and economic balance that had long favored the Ottomans was beginning to shift. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the empire began to rot from the inside out. By the 19th century, the decline was undeniable. The once feared Ottoman Empire was now patronizingly called the sick man of Europe. It had lost territory in the Balkans to nationalist uprisings, and in North Africa to European colonial powers. Its economy couldn't compete with industrial Europe, and it became heavily indebted to foreign banks. The world was changing at a dizzying pace. Steamships, railways, and modern industry were transforming rival nations, while the Ottomans struggled to adapt. A series of reforms, known as the Tanzimat, were attempted to modernize the state, but they were often too little, too late. The empire that had once been at the forefront of military and cultural power was now desperately fighting for its very survival in a world it no longer dominated. The final blow came with the First World War. The Ottoman Empire joined the Central Powers alongside Germany and Austria-Hungary, a decision that would prove catastrophic. They fought on multiple fronts, from the deserts of Arabia to the mountains of the Caucasus. The war shattered the empire's remaining strength and resources. In 1918, defeated and occupied by Allied forces, the once mighty empire was dismantled. The Sultanate was officially abolished in 1922, ending over 600 years of continuous Ottoman rule. But from the ashes of the empire, a new nation emerged. Led by Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, the Republic of Turkey was founded, a modern, secular state. The Ottoman Empire was gone, But its incredible history, its deep cultural memory, and its powerful legacy continue to shape Turkey and the world to this day.